What's up, everybody? This is Stone the Iceman, and today I'm playing Sayo no Uta. It's by the same guy who did Madoka Magica, or at least did the designs and the story of it. And apparently he's working at this visual novel company now, Nitro Plus. Some good coffee. Yeah, usually I don't play visual novels because it just seems like most of them are masturbatory tools. This one seemed to be no different, but it has horror elements in it. And so I figured, if you watch a movie and it's a horror movie and it's really decent, but it has like a rape scene, but it's still considered a classic, like, I don't know, Last House on the Left, that warrants it as like a classic. So if this game is really good and like mind fucking, but it has a few, not so great themes in it, I figure it wouldn't be awful for me to play it, or automatically turn me into just some humongous pervert. So let's get started, shall we? Start. This story is a work of fiction. The medical procedures and conditions described are all, well, fine, fuck. Ah. Do not modify grotesque images. Maybe that was not such a great option to pick. By listening carefully, I am able to grasp the gist of their conversation. This allows me to barely avoid arousing their suspicion. I can stay out of it as long as they're just talking among themselves, but I can't ignore them if they speak to me. However they may look, they are my friends, apparently. I want to deny it, of course, but I gave up on that a long time ago. Each night I went to sleep wishing that this would turn out to be a nightmare. But each morning I awoke to find that the world was just as horribly warped as it was the day before. I have to live while blending in, while acting like one of them. Just as I've done these past 3 months, I will continue to do for the rest of my life. Judging by its tone, this one must be Kuji. And the one next to him squealing more than the others is probably Umi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing these names right. I'm probably not. Which means that the one next to me must be Yo. I think I got that one right. Though I can no longer see any trace of her once refined features. I try my best to ignore the rotten stench of the excrement that issues from her quivering flesh. Everything has changed completely. While everything appears different to me, my relationship to the world alone is the same. These creatures were part of the same college club as me, and we used to be pretty good friends. We even went skiing every winter break. Now these are but fond memories of days that will never return. If only everyone, including my friends, had forgotten about me, I might have been able to disconnect myself from the world. It would have been comforting, in comparison to believe that I had been abducted by aliens and taken to a different planet or something. However, this is definitely Japan on the planet Earth, and this is the city where I was born and raised, the society that I was a part of for 20-odd years. But I and I alone can no longer see it that way. I no longer recognize the world. I have no place to call home. Oh, it looks like a Taco Bell bathroom. Nasty. Hey, Fuminori. one of the flesh lumps says as it swivels its bloodshot eyes towards me. What do you think? I desperately try to suppress my loathing and behave normally, but my hoarse voice ruins the attempt. A slimy hole near the top of the creature writhes nauseatingly as it vomits some semblance of words. Ah, so that must be Kuji's head, face, and mouth, or rather what I would have seen as such 3 months ago. Unable to bring myself to look at it, I avert my eyes and give a neutral answer. Kuji was one of my best friends, as was everyone else here. They were all precious to me, and one of them had even desired to be more than just friends. How many nights have I spent crying in loneliness, lamenting the friends who no longer exist? In 3 months I cried myself dry, and now there is only loathing left in me. Surrounded by fleshy creatures that I can only assume are Kuji, Umi, and Yo, I spend each day trying to act like I always have. If I fail at this, I'll probably be sent back to the hospital. But this time I'll be locked away forever. No matter what, I mustn't let that happen. I'm at my limit. I can't listen. I can't look at them or listen to the terrible voices any longer. Losing my patience, I jump to my feet. A spray of stringy slime from the cilia wriggling around its voice box flies towards me. I try to cover myself, but too late to keep the slime from splattering across my face like the yolk of a rotten egg. I'm on the verge of losing it. I want to grab a chair, a desk, anything within reach, and use it to smash the life out of this creature, ending it all. I barely suppress the impulse. I have to avoid arousing their suspicion. However they look to me, this is their world. I'm the outsider here. I try to fake a smile, but I'm not sure it works. Reaching into my wallet, I pull out the first bill I find and put it on the table without looking at it. It's probably enough for the drink I ordered, and I don't care about the change. I just want to get out of here as fast as possible. I leave, quite literally running for my life. Oh, I guess we're seeing the other point of view. To know Kuji supports Umi with a laugh. Her sudden statements are nothing new, and it's Kuji's role as her boyfriend to provide backup. To Yo, they seem like a good match for each other. Sometimes it makes her jealous. It's refreshing to see. Most visual novel characters are still in high school, so it's kind of nice to see them in college. Pizza French fry. Oh, so it was a date. Yo feels a stab of envy. Kuji and Umi enjoy their time together like normal lovers do. That's really not something to be jealous of. It's just that Yo's luck has been bad.
見てみたいな。
Yo keeps her voice upbeat, trying to cover up her inner conflict. Yo knows that she mustn't be envious or blame luck. She has a special person too. It's because of the terrible tragedy that befell him that he doesn't spend any time with her. His is true misfortune, the sort that makes unluckiness pale in comparison. I have to say that I find female voice actresses in like Japanese media, whether it be like dubs or subtitled, I just find it really annoying. Like, all of their voices are high-pitched and squeaky.
だからさ、
Yeah.
ね、今度のスキー旅行、ついでにスケート旅行にしちゃえば2倍美味しく楽しいってわけよ。でもさ、スケートはスケ
Yeah, I
ー
miss
ト
your
リンクに
voice.
行け
Why
ば
don't you
で
talk
きるじゃない。
instead?
だから屋内じゃなくてさ、屋外スケート、凍った湖とかで滑れるところ。そんな都合のいいとこあるかな。
Although the conversation has only involved Kuji and Umi, with Yo supporting their lively banter, there are clearly two couples sitting at the cafeteria table. In other words, Yo's boyfriend, though there's still some doubt over whether he could be called that, is also sitting with them. Maybe Kuji sensed the pain in Yo's heart in his usual quiet and considerate way. The cause of Yo's distress, Sakasaka Fuminori, responds to Kuji's sudden query with a vague, mumbled question of his own. Kuji speaks gingerly, as though probing a tumor. A few months ago, he wouldn't have hesitated to firmly rebuke Fuminori for his attitude. Their long acquaintance had forged a friendship that needed no restraint. Fuminori responds bluntly, his downcast eyes and sullen demeanor making it clear that he has no desire to break his silence. Even Kuji, who should be Fuminori's best friend, cannot communicate with him as he could before. It should go without saying that Yo can't find a thing to say. The scars left by the events of that late summer day are still deep months later. Each one of the four bears them, not only Fuminori. As though that answer drained the last of his patience, Fuminori bolts out of his chair. Even Kuji can't keep his voice from raising a little as he tries to stop Fuminori from leaving. Fuminori reacts swiftly, throwing his hand over his face as though trying to shield himself from something terrifying. Maybe some spittle flew inadvertently from Kuji's mouth, but that's the sort of thing that happens occasionally during everyday conversation. At least there wasn't even enough spit for Yo to see clearly. Certainly nothing you need to frantically protect yourself from. Even if he was spit on, this is going into a little bit more detail than necessary. Even as he tosses money on the table, presumably to pay for his coffee, he acts like he's touching something filthy. With a hurried stride that makes it seem as though he's running away, Fuminori leaves the cafeteria. Still cloaked in heavy silence, the three lower their gaze to the table, where the abandoned 10,000 yen bill sways forlornly. Nice personification there. Looking closely, they see that Fuminori's coffee is untouched. Coffee. This is a tragedy that could have happened to anyone. A tractor trailer flipped over, crushing the Sakasaka family car into a twisted scrap. They said it had even been difficult to tell the corpses of Fuminori's mother and father apart. For a while, it had looked as though there was no hope for Fuminori's survival. That he was able to leave the hospital and return to his life was nothing short of a miracle.
今井に行った時なんてもっとひどかったじゃないか。誰が誰かも分からずに、今はよくあそこまで立ち直ってくれたと思う。
それにしたって変よ、咲坂君。私たちのこと見る目つきある。
よせ、近江。
With Kuji's kindness, while Kuji's kindness makes her happy, Yo also knows that, as Kuji says, she mustn't depend on it. Fuminori is the victim. He's the one that deserves sympathy. Yo's feelings for Fuminori are her problem, and no one else's. She doesn't blame Fuminori for not responding to her immediately after she finally worked up the courage to confess to him. In fact, she thinks even more fondly for him, for his serious consideration of her feelings than she would have had he given a quick, casual answer. You know, I think this is the end of the first episode. I don't think I can take much more soapbox. I'll probably play further into the game because I really want to beat it, but if it's like intense melodrama like this, I don't know how much more I can take. So I'll see you in the next episode.